So we decided to make a quick little stop before we leave Oregon. This is the beginning of our journey to Montana and home again. We are on the mighty Columbia River at a little wayside park not far out of Umatilla, Oregon. Isn't it beautiful? It's still pretty early this morning, and we're getting a start because we have a lot of places that we're going to stop at along the way. Take care, everyone. I'll see you on the next clip. Before we leave this area, I just wanted to say how thankful I am that they have these little things set up for people that may have stopped by and want to play in the water but don't have life jackets with them. This is awesome. Hi everyone. Are you ready for a Sunday drive? Well, it's not quite a Sunday drive. This is Thursday, and we are headed out on our trip. So we haven't quite left Oregon yet, but we're getting close. But I wanted you to see some of these views. We are beside the Columbia River, and we're riding right alongside of it. Few little interesting pieces along the way here. I believe there's a historical marker that's up here, and it'll be on the right side as we go by. We don't have any intentions of stopping there this time, but I'll have to look up the information on that historical marker and let you know what it is all about. But I'll point it out as we go by it. I believe there's some hiking trails that are there too, where you can actually hike up on to the cliff edges of the Columbia River. Down here it's not quite as bad as it is west of here, but they're still pretty high. Right there.
Juniper Canyon.
That has a lot of hiking trails in it. part, a clear day. Yeah, it's only 67 degrees this morning, so that's great. Washington, the evergreen state. Bunch of stickers on that sign. Entering Walla Walla County. I was thinking that historical marker was on our side of the border, but evidently not. We should be coming up to it really soon. was in Oregon instead of Washington is because we're still on the right-hand side of the Columbia River. And I always associate Washington with the left side of the Columbia River when we're heading east. Right now we're kind of headed northeast. So I guess that does make sense. This stretch of highway is really busy with trucks a lot of the day. Ooh, look at that cool rock formation up there. Isn't that cool? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. I would imagine there was a lot more of those rock formations in this area at the time, but with erosion and everything, it's just kind of taking it down to dirt.
We just passed one of the markers.
Okay.
And it could have been associated for that rock.
Ah, it could be.
I'm going to look it up and put some information in.
This is the one I was thinking about, and it's right up in that gully, and I did not turn the camera fast enough. Oh, well, maybe this is part of it. Yep. So here is where we pulled off really quickly, and look at those cliffs there, those rocky cliffs. And there's some sort of trail and stuff that goes out that way, and more rocky cliffs. And on the other side, you'll see the train going by on the other side. Of course, there's train tracks on both sides of the road, but this is the historical marker that I was thinking about. Okay, see you on the next clip. So, currently we're on Highway 12, and shortly we'll be turning off on the old Highway 12, which it looks like it's soon to be the old Highway 12.
This is the old Frenchtown Historic Site. And we'll go ahead and do a quick pull in here, just so you get some, see some of the old buildings. Battle of Walla Walla from 1855. Come up to this the old building here.
Wow, that looks pretty old. Can drive right up to it. Very cool. Pretty cool. Look at this old door. This is kind of reminiscent of the trips that I'd taken with my parents when I was younger. Dad would stop at all the historical markers and odd things that were along the way. It was fun. But I always tease him about him being like Chevy Chase in the movie Vacation. For some of you that don't know where we're quite at right at the moment, we are in the southeastern part of Washington. And we're on the old Highway 12. Turning off of it. Ooh, there's some really nice places out here. This place over here. Wow. Pretty cool. now we're coming into a park area that is called the Whitman Mission National Historical Site, or Historic Site. Up there on the hill looks like where the site is probably at. So right now we're at the Whitman Mission, and we've come to the first part of the trail, which is the Oregon Trail, the Whitman Memorial, and the Great Grave. I'm not sure what that is quite yet. This is my first time here, but it's the second time for Scott. And this is part of it right here. And it goes off in that direction. Beyond here is where the old site for the mission is. If you remember in my last clip, I saw a structure up on the hill. That hill actually has a memorial. That's not where the Whitman Mission was. The Whitman Mission is down this direction. So according to this site right here, these are the mission sites. The first house that was built, the grist mill, the immigrant house, the blacksmith shop, and the mission house. This sign right here just talks about the farming in the area. At the end of the video, for those of you that don't know what the Whitman Mission is, I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of this video. This is ran by the national parks, and it's been a national, or part of the national parks since 1936, or excuse me, yeah, 1936. Here's one of the site locations. They have the buildings outlined with bricks on where they used to be and what they were. And this first one was called the first house. The river is close by here, and you can tell when it floods that it comes up at least this far just by the terrain that is around here. We're coming up to the next sign, and this talks about their child that was born here. Oh, the shade feels really nice. It's still early in the day, but it's starting to progressively get a little warmer. Yeah, when we first came into the site and I saw the memorial at the top of the hill, I really thought that that's where they would be located. If I was going to build a structure like that, I think I'd want to be able to see all the way around me instead of tucked into a little area below it all. But that's just me. Maybe that's part of my Norse ancestry. I want to be up somewhere high where you can see if the enemy is coming in. This is the site of the old grist mill. And it looks like they had a pond up here, or this is where the water came in for that mill area. Very nice. And again, there's that memorial, and we're going to walk up there. But there's a few things down here that I'm still going to show you yet. It's a very peaceful area. And it's pretty green for being in this area. But like I said, it is close to the river. And they do get some water in this area. Okay, this next site right here is called the Immigrant's House. And this is where the Whitman's assistant, William Gray, resided. And after that, later it became a guest house. And that's it right there. Looks like it was only 2 rooms. Oh, no, maybe it was 4. I think I see some more bricks in there. I'm a little vertically challenged, so I didn't see that. So there is 4 rooms in this immigrant house. This looks like a marshy, swampy area, or the potential for it. There could have been some flooding in this area as well. Even as out in this direction too. That's pretty reminiscent of where there's water standing, seeing that kind of vegetation. Okay, so this next building was the blacksmith shop, and it looks like it was only 2 rooms, and it was used mostly as a farrier operation and also to repair wagon wheels. So we're going up in elevation just a little bit, maybe a few feet than what this area is down here. and where the first house was built. On the back side of this loop, this area right here is where the Whitman mission was built. Right up here on this little knoll, probably because of the waters that rise in this area. Here's some information about the mission house. And it looks like there's several little rooms in this, and it was a pretty big size for being back then. This right here gives you an idea of where the rooms were and actually where the massacres took place. Some of them. Dr. Whitman died in his home, and Mrs. Whitman, she was also shot in the house. So this little box right here was a pantry. But yeah, there were the other rooms. This one was called the Indian room. Then they had like a school room in there, and they had bedrooms, and they had an unfinished room. It was rather large for back in the day. Well, I'm going to cut this one off right here, and then when we get up to the memorial, I will start the next clip. See you then. We're behind the main building here, and this sign right here talks about the trails where we were already at, the mission sites, and now we're headed to the Great Grave Whitman Memorial. And that is up this path here, and we're going to end up there. See you when we get up there. And start over again. It was quite an elevation coming up here, and it was a short distance, but it was rather steep. Look at the view that you get from up here though, and I'm not even quite at the very top. We're actually just a few feet away from the top, but I wanted to see or show you the view all the way around this knoll. Right down there is the sites that we walked around, and there's the main building down there. And as you can see in the background, it's pretty hazy, but you can see the elevation of the cliffs and the mountains. And as some of you know, barns are my thing. I really love old barns. And there's a big one right there. Look at those sides. Okay, so here's what we came to see. And this is the back side of it. Look at that, it just keeps going. Alrighty. Let's walk back around so that you can see what it says on there. And it looks like there was something on the back here at one time, but it's not readable on this side. And it could be just where the sun's located at too, that I can't see it very well. And If there was anything on this side, it was small and has disappeared. Now, this area of Washington gets a lot of wind, so there is a lot of erosion that happens. But right now, this memorial is 27 feet high. And the base of this is situated at 720 feet above sea level. It just seems high. That's not very high, but it seems high to me. Yeah. So really all it says is it's a memorial for Whitman, for Walt Whitman. Let's go over here to this sign. This gives you an idea where what the area was. Oh, and you can see the water, how it horseshoed around in that area. Remember where I said it was swampy? Because this is the mission, and there is the water that came around. And this looks like a floodplain where it came up behind the trees. Doesn't really show in this part the grist mill, though. So I'm not sure where that would be located on this. Probably somewhere along this tree line over here. Here's another trail that you can take that comes up this direction also, or maybe it goes around and back down the other direction. And it looks like Scott took off and left me, so I guess we'll start heading that direction.